The sun is a merciless fist. It beats down on the cracked mud that was once the floodplain, making the earth into a mosaic of pale, thirsty polygons. The air, thick with dust and the sweet, cloying scent of decay, shimmers over the carcasses of lungfish and ancient turtles, their shells overturned and empty. For the Sky Minus Fire Clan, a small band of early humans clinging to existence, this is the season of endings. The vein of the world, the great river, is now a sluggish, brown ribbon flanked by wide banks of sun-minus hardened silt. What little water remains is a soup of life and death, concentrating both the hunted and the hunter into a suffocating line arrow stage. From the overhang of a sandstone escarpment, they watch the stage. They are gaunt figures, their ribs stark beneath taut skin, their deep minus set eyes tracking the only movement in the oppressive heat. It rises from the murky water like a terrible dawn. A 6-foot sail of skin and bone, ripped and rayed, slicing through the brown current. Then comes the head, longer than the tallest among them. A nightmare of interlocking conical teeth set in a jaw built to snap crocodiles in half. The Spinosaurus, the undisputed tyrant of this waterway, patrols its shrinking kingdom. It moves with an unnerving, fluid grace, a monster of two worlds. It's immense, clawed feet finding purchase on the riverbed as its crocodile-like tail propels it with silent force. The clan has seen it snatch our Spinosaurus from the bank, dragging the screaming herbivores into a churning red froth. They have watched it battle the giant crocodilians Arco such as and win. It is the apex of this prehistoric world, a force of nature as absolute and unforgiving as the drought itself. This is the brutal reality that shapes their hominid history. Moseomi a predator, the greatest danger in a world teeming with them. They study it to survive, noting its hunting grounds, its moments of lethargy in the highest heat. These are the fundamental survival skills passed down through generations. But the clan's shaman, Old Kale, sees something more. His eyes, clouded with cataracts but missing nothing, are not fixed on the creature's teeth or claws. He watches the way it raises its head to the brazen sky after a kill. The deep, guttural roar that vibrates not just in the air but in the very stone beneath their feet. He sees the sun glinting off its wet sail, the crown of fire. He connects the empty sky, the cracked earth, and the monster's growing aggression into a single, terrifying narrative. In his mind, this is not merely one of the great dinosaurs. It is the river's mind. It is the water's anger given flesh. A young hunter, G.R.I.K., shifts his weight, the haft of his flint-tipped spear digging into his palm. It moves closer to the shallows. He whispers, his voice a dry rasp. The last of the deep pools is theirs. We cannot fish. We cannot drink without risk. Kale does not look at him. His gaze remains locked on the creature as it effortlessly plucks a fish the size of a man's leg from the water and swallows it whole. He sees the ripple of powerful muscle under its hide. He feels the thrum of its existence, a power so immense it transcends mere life. It is a presence. I will. The old man finally turns his head, his gaze sweeping over the desperate, hungry faces of his kin. His voice, when it comes, is not a whisper but a pronouncement, heavy with the weight of revelation. It is not a beast, Kale declares, and the clan stills. It is the god of the river. The drought is its rage. The sun is its weapon. It does not hunt for hunger. It hunts for tribute. A silence falls over the escarpment, deeper than the drought. The clan looks from the monstrous sail in the river to the old man in their midst. His words hang in the hot, still air, an impossible new weight. It is G.R.A.K. who breaks the quiet, his knuckles white around his spear. He is a man of muscle and pragmatic action, whose faith lies in the keen edge of a flint blade and the strength of his own arm. He sees the world as a series of problems to be solved with ancient tools and force. An old man's fever dream. He mutters, loud enough for all to hear. The heat has cooked his mind. It is a beast. The biggest beast. We move camp, find a new water source. We do not pray to it. Kaila's gaze, ancient and unblinking, settles on him. We are too weak to move camp. The children would not survive a day's walk. The herds have already fled this valley. There is nothing out there but bait, rock, and hunger. He gestures with a bony hand toward the river. That is the only life left. It holds it. What has your spear done? G-R-A-K. It has not brought rain. It has not filled the river. Our primitive technology is failing us. The challenge is laid bare. A confrontation not of strength, but of philosophy. It is the friction at the heart of their nascent society. The clash between the physical and the metaphysical that will define their future as human ancestors. The clan is caught in the middle. Their empty bellies and parched throats making them desperate enough to consider the unthinkable. Ignoring GRAK's simmering anger, Kale turns away, his mind already on the ritual. The offering cannot be a simple carcass. It must be a covenant, an act of sacrifice that shows the god their reverence. He commissions the clan's best flint-snapper to create not a weapon, but a sacred butchering knife. The hunters are sent not to kill for food, but to find the most perfect, unblemished creature they can. They return with a young Gallimimus, its life taken swiftly on with a strange, new solemnity. Under Kale's direction, they prepare the offering. They use the jawbone of a hynodont, its serrated teeth still sharp, to strip the meat from the bone in clean, respectful cuts. This is their osteodontochoretic technology bent to a new purpose, not just for survival, but for worship. They lash the choicest cuts of meat with braided sinew to a raft woven from reeds, a fragile vessel for their hopes. At its center, they place the creature's skull, its eye sockets packed with shimmering river pearls and crowned with the black flight feathers of a crow. Eye-hard choice crystallizes within the clan. Some, the younger hunters loyal to GRAK, watch with stony faces, seeing only wasted food and a fool's errand. They see an old man leading their fragile group into oblivion, but others the mothers who watch their children weaken. The elders who remember other, lesser droughts begin to help. They weave the reeds. They polish the pearls, their hands moving with the desperate energy of newfound faith. Kale's idea, born of heat and desperation, has become a tangible thing. It is an act of altruism at its most extreme. He is not sending a warrior, he is going himself. He is offering not just the clan's meager resources, but his own life, to test a belief. As the sun bleeds across the horizon, casting the sky in shades of bruised purple and blood-orange, the offering is complete. Kale lifts the feathered skull, its empty gaze seeming to hold a silent question. He turns his back on the flickering fire of his clan and faces the darkening river, where the god of the cracked mud waits. The muddy water is shockingly cold, a stark contrast to the baked air. It clings to Kale's skin, sucking at his legs with every agonizing step as he pushes the small reed raft before him. The offering, with its feathered skull, seems to float on a pool of liquid darkness under the rising moon. The familiar sounds of the twilight river, the chirp of insects, the splash of a fish are gone. There is only an expectant, profound silence, as if the world itself is holding its breath. Every shadow is a lurking sarcosuchus, every submerged log a prelude to an attack from below. This is no place for a hominid. This is the heart of a kingdom that predates the very concept of humanity, a remnant of a time when giants owned the world. The study of this era will one day be called Paleontology, an attempt to read the story of prehistoric life from fossilized bone. But for Kale, the story is being written now, in the terror thrumming through his own blood. He reaches the place the clan only ever observes from afar, a deep undercut in the riverside cliff, forming a cavernous, dripping moor. The stench that rolls out is overpowering, a miasma of rotting fish, river mud, and the heavy, musky scent of a colossal reptile. The shoreline is littered with bones, some picked clean, others still webbed with sinew. The skull of a juvenile triceratops, its horns snapped at the base, noise half-minus buried in the silt. This is a dragon's lair, a charnel house that stands as a testament to the creature's absolute dominion. Kale's survival instinct screams at him to flee. to abandon this insane ritual. But his foresight, the spark of abstract thought that separates his kind from the beasts, sees a different path. He pushes the raft into the dark water at the cave's mouth. He stands waist minus deep, vulnerable, and waits. It emerges not with a roar, but with a horrifying silence. A long, narrow snout first, then the immense, sail-minus-backed body, displacing the water in a great, swelling wave that nearly knocks Gale from his feet. The Spinosaurus is larger up close than his mind could have ever conceived. Its sail alone blots out the stars. An eye, the size of a man's fist and possessing an unnerving, bird-minus-like intelligence, swivels to fix upon him. It is a moment that transcends the simple predator-minus-prey dynamic. This is a confrontation central to the long, arduous story of human evolution, a fragile consciousness staring into the abyss of primal, indifferent power. The shaman does not move. He does not flinch. He stands his ground, his hands open at his sides, a willing supplicant. The great head lowers, the crocodile-minus-like jaw, dripping with water and saliva, inches from the rough. The beast ignores Gale completely, as if he is no more significant than the reeds brushing against its flank. Its focus is entirely on the offering. With a delicate movement that belies its incredible power, it plucks a piece of meat from the raft and swallows. Then another. It nudges the feathered skull with its snout. The river purls scattering into the murky depths. A low rumble vibrates from its deep chest, not a threat, but a sound of primal satisfaction. The god has accepted their tribute. As Gale slowly, carefully, backs away, a single drop of water lands on his cheek. He looks up. Against all odds, a dark cloud is gathering in the moonlit sky. Then another drop falls, and another. The sermon at the moor is over. The god has answered. Gale returns to the Sky-Fire clan not as an old man, but as a prophet. The rain that follows, a soft, life-giving drizzle that turns to a steady downpour by dawn, washes away more than just the dust. It washes away doubt. Georaki and his hunters are silenced. Their pragmatic realism no match for the undeniable miracle they now witness. The act of entering the lair of the most dangerous of dinosaurs and returning with rain forges a new reality. The Spinosaurus is cemented in their collective consciousness, no longer just a predator to be avoided, but a deity to be appeased, a fickle source of life and death whose moods govern the sky. This is the birth of faith, a story powerful enough to organize a society and give meaning to their brutal existence. It is a turning point in the history of the hominid mind, the moment our human ancestors realized that the greatest tool for survival was not a sharpened stone, but a shared belief. They could not kill the monster, so they made it their god. This desperate, audacious act of imagining the world became humanity's first and most enduring strategy, a blueprint for turning fear into reverence, and chaos into cosmos. For how else does a species born to be prey dare to inherit the earth, if not by first learning to bargain with its gods? In a world ruled by titans, the human mind became the ultimate sanctuary, and inside, it built its first gods. But on the great northern ice sheets, the gods have fur, and they do not bargain.